It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out of my mind. It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. I'm putting you out, trash day, I'm putting you out of my mind. Now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up the house. Taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage.
Working 5 to 1, throwing garbage for a living. But at quitting time, it's all beers and a bunch of jiving. We'll blow your mind with our wrestling knowledge. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it. 'Cause it's Can Crusher Day.
First off, let me say that song has changed immensely over the 3-4 weeks that we've been working on it.
I know. Well, every day I say I'm going to write it down, and I never write it down, and then I finally write it down 2 minutes before we do the show.
It's 30 seconds. Welcome back to the studio. A full studio show for the first time in a month. From surgeries to this to that to not being around. It's just been hectic.
Crazy. It's been crazy and work and work and work.
So we're going to dive. We haven't had, I don't think I've had a beer doing a podcast in a while. We haven't had a garbage tip. So we're just back. We are back full strength. Miggy's getting his drinks. We're just good to go.
We got some drinks too from our local brewery, Straub. Hey, you didn't do our shtick.
Oh, yeah. 2 everyday garbage men drinking beer, talking wrestling.
There you go. And Smooth Eddies.
They're bottles.
Ale. Hyphenweisens. Signature brews.
Yeah, Straub. I have not had this. I really have not. I didn't know much about it. 5.5% alcohol.
Honestly, I don't know shit about this.
Well, it's from Straub's.
Yeah.
So, beer time. There's a citrus a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah, it's not bad. Actually,
I really like this.
No bad aftertaste. That's weird.
For Straub.
From Straub.
Yeah.
Actually, with the Straub's new tap room they have opened up, they got new beers and everything. Their beer has come a long way.
Yeah. Have you been over to eat or anything? I heard the food's delish as well.
Yeah. It's little sandwiches. It's nothing like you can't go order steak or prime rib or anything like that.
It's paninis and ciabatta sandwiches and such like that.
Yeah, it's not a restaurant or anything like that. It's just a little place to sample beers.
Sample lots of beers.
And little bits of foods.
Little bit. Well, that's our problem. We really don't like little bits of food.
Like lots of bits of food.
Lots of bits of food. So we're deep into our Can Crusher Wrestling Legacy Tournament, which you haven't botched because you really haven't announced it yet thus far. But we're still not deep enough that we're not even out of the first damn round.
No, yeah, we still have 5 or 6 matches in the first round.
No, but definitely more than that. There's some that the English professor has not even written yet that still need to come my way. I think we started at like the 20th. So
what do you have, 64 people?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but it's true. It's our legacy tournament. This is the biggest thing we've ever done.
This is, craziness. And there's already a bye. Already a tie.
I know. Between Matt Bourne and Tamina, what are you guys doing? Why are you... How does that happen? Matt Bourne was Doink. He was Big Jaw. Tamina was just Superfly's daughter.
Well, I mean, she still is Superfly's daughter.
Yeah, she's alive yet and well, but blah.
She was part of the Samoan SWAT sisters, too.
Speaking of which... Nia come back soon, you think?
I don't know. Her and Lars Sullivan are just talking about how they hate people.
And Jinder.
And Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, a lot of injuries still left that we were talking in the back of the truck today. Like, we really want Jinder back.
Yes,
we miss Jinder.
Jinder's a great heel.
The other two, I don't care if they come back or not.
No. Lars needs brought down and repackaged because he's not what he says he is.
Once he talked, he ruined his whole shtick. He really did. So you want to start with a question today. So I'm going to let you have the reins of this first segment.
Real quick question I had, and I asked you earlier, like, I give you a heads up to let you think about the question before I ask it.
And I forgot it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Throwing questions in my face and I'm over here stuttering like an idiot. Nope, it's okay. It's okay. So the question I have for you today, Mark, is Do you think that WWE's use of social media is hindering or helping them in the long run? You have 24/7 title changes on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. You have interviews setting up for stuff on all three of those. But if people don't watch that, or some people don't have time to watch YouTube videos for hours upon end, so they don't get to see that, and then they tune in the next week and they're lost.
Not being PC, but I think I'm going to go with this route. WWE has so much content out there that they just want to overwhelm every other organization. Have it be OVW, Impact, AEW.
So you say they're trying to drown them out.
Yeah, they're just trying to drown them out. They don't care if you're watching it or not. They just know they have stuff out there.
So it's constantly fresh.
Yeah. With something coming up, you're going to see, R-Truth get the pin on a golf course for the 24/7. Great.
On an airplane.
Somebody under 10,000 leagues under the sea, whatever. You're gonna get stuff like that. I don't think they care if you watch it. They just know that it's out there. It's gonna blip up before AEW's or anybody else's. That I don't care. I don't watch them because I want to see what else is out there. I will spend the second to dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So,
but most people won't.
Right.
And WWE is readily available.
So my answer is yes. I think it is hurting them because too much sometimes is too much.
We talked earlier and you said to me, I like watching OVW for an hour, and that leaves me at the end of that hour, I want more. Yeah. So I'm excited for the next week again.
Right.
Because there's not much in between. I mean, there's little stuff, but there's not much in between.
Right, there's a blip or two every day of Brian Kennison and Callie doing something, whatever. But those are a minute long.
Yeah.
They're not 20 minutes long like some of this stuff that WWE is putting out. Less is more in my book. It really is. I'm excited for OEW. I'm excited for MLW. Things like that because that's what I want.
It's like an hour and then you're waiting for... It's like old school TV, like when you used to sit down and watch a TV show, and you had to be there to watch it. You couldn't go back and watch
it. There's no DVR back in the day.
Yeah. So if you missed a week, you're pretty much screwed. But also, you watch the whole show, and it's to be continued, and now you're on a cliffhanger for the rest of the week until the next week.
Yeah. So I would agree. You're on the same page as I am.
Yes. I do like some of it. I like the content. I like watching it. I mean,
are you going to search for it?
Bathroom documentaries is what I like to call them.
Good call.
When I got downtime, I'm going to watch it.
And you are usually down for that amount of time.
Oh my God, today was Rumble Gut City, buddy. I was dying.
So, this is one of those weeks that there's so much WWE. You had 3 hours of Raw. Then you had 2 hours of SmackDown. There's 5 hours. You have NXT tonight. And then you had 205. There's 2 more hours. So we're at 7. Pay-per-view is Sunday, but
which is 5 hours long.
Minimum. It's starting at 5.
Yeah.
With the pre-show and everything, so it's going to last until midnight. So there's 7. So now
you think it's going to last till midnight?
Yes. They'll find a way. They're going to add more matches. They're going to do the hokey pokey, Florida.
But at the same time, the last time they did WrestleMania to midnight, they had people complain because it was too late.
Pat Lupino, the Rated X Garbage Can Crusher, said that people in his row left.
Yeah,
they left tired. Because it's too long. Oh, plus you have NXT TakeOver Saturday night.
On Saturday. Yeah, you have legitimately 24 hours of wrestling.
That's too much.
This whole week.
It's. I would never thought I'd say this as a 10-year-old, 13-year-old, 18-year-old boy. It's too much anymore. It really... No.
So we're going to skim through Raw and SmackDown because for take-home shows, they weren't very good.
Yeah, we're really just going to touch on high points. You want to do those now, and then go to my reports?
Yeah, might as well.
And then we'll do our predictions after you hear the English professor and all that stuff. No change, just we're going to throw Raw and SmackDown here. The one thing I did like on Raw and SmackDown, where I'll stop, and they did the bell salute for the passing of all the people in El Paso and Dayton.
Yes.
That's something that I will continue to give props to WWE. They take that time to know that they're, I don't want to say social media inclined, they're in the know of, they could just skip over that.
Well, but like 2003 it was when the 9/11 attacks happened.
2003? It's 2001.
Oh, 2001. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I thought it was the senior, but I wasn't a senior. It was 2001. So, they did the whole thing. They were the first show in New York.
Yeah.
After
that was
all that. And Miggs is excited about it too.
They actually were the first thing to come back besides baseball and anything.
And Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. So, all right. I really don't know. Let's just convolute this whole thing and just...
Roman Reigns almost got hit by a car. Do you want me to start it out?
Yeah. He almost got hit by a car.
And Joe was trying to yell at him.
Last week, he almost had a warehouse fall on him, but he saved himself.
It was a forklift driver, WWE said, but now all of a sudden it wasn't a forklift driver?
And Joe gets blamed.
Joe's a forklift himself. He ain't driving one.
No, he can move a house if he wanted to. You two would be a great tag team.
What can we call ourselves?
Fat and fatter.
Aww. He's fatter.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
He's more agile than me, though, for sure.
He's a jungle cat.
100%.
The jungle cat.
Yeah, because my softball nickname's a Big Cat. So
there you go. You guys are the jungle cats. Another thing I saw on Raw that really annoyed me is you bring Trish Stratus from Toronto to Pittsburgh to stand in the corner and really not do anything. She didn't even get in the match. You could have filled that with Dana Brooke. You could have filled that with Alicia Fox. You could have pulled an IWC star from local, Katie Arquette, Raylan, Jinx, anybody like that could have been thrown with Charlotte to have her stand in the corner.
Speaking of IWC stars, were the two jobbers the War Raiders, they weren't IWC stars?
They were not. I don't know where
that's horse shit.
Right? You're in Pittsburgh. One of your filter companies, more or less, that we call it. It's not on paper, but
it's
still.
Not on paper, but you had some greats come through IWC.
Yeah. People were always walking to IWC, walking away from IWC.
Walking with IWC.
Right. And
we're not going to name any names, but if you can't pick up what we're laying down.
But you just grab another, who the hell knows who these two Joe Blows were.
Oh, Joe Blows.
Right. So, I don't know. Nothing against. Almas and Ray have fought for months now.
Since Ray came back to the WWE.
Are we going to get the mask versus hair or mask versus something match soon?
No, because WWE doesn't want Almas to be bald and they don't want Ray to lose his mask. But Ray has lost his mask before.
I said that Kel was actually sitting with me Monday night watching it, and she's like, what are they doing? I said, he was in WCW and he didn't have a mask for a while.
For a while, because he lost his mask in a match.
Yeah, and he brings it back, and now it's like...
Now it's sacred again.
History's just not there
we don't.
anymore.
Yeah, we don't. Like, some of us old guys still remember that.
Right. I do. He's a baby face.
I do, too.
I mean, not as a... He really has a baby face.
That's why he wears the mask.
Yeah. Are you getting sick of the 24/7 stuff?
No and yes. I really like that a woman held it. I wish she wasn't pregnant, so I thought this was it, Mark. I thought this was when we were going to get the crossover. Like, all right, there's no gender lines anymore. We're going to have wrestlers.
Right.
And it didn't happen.
The whole Kelly, and we're going to reverse because Paul and I really have not really talked about this. Kelly getting it from Gerald Briscoe was a joke. But now we're waiting for a true WWE superstar, women-wise, because I still don't think Maria is a superstar whatsoever.
No, she's... Well, and right now, supposedly
Air
she's
quotes?
pregnant.
Pregnant?
Yeah.
Right. Anybody. Before...
Mella would be awesome.
Thank you. By the way, I'm really upset with all you guys for dropping the ball and not voting Mella to win in the Can Crusher Legacy Tournament. This is one that I'm going to call you guys out. The other one I already called you out on, Tessa beating Nat. That's horseshit. But...
You think it's horseshit. I'm a Nat fan, so I liked it.
Okay, so our votes are now canceled, but the rest of you...
So it's 50-50. It's a bye.
No, they're canceled. They're
Rain tie.
Why did you not pick Mella. Mella has been money right now. Is it the garbage angle that she's in, like the English professor's upset about?
See, I like Mella and R-Truth. I don't mind it. But I want to see, you know what I really wanted to see? Drake Maverick's wife, air quotes again.
Oh, they're legit married.
Oh,
they legit got married. Renee Michelle, and that was a legit wedding.
Oh, no kidding. So I would have liked to see her pin Drake Maverick, and then Mella and her have matches.
And then file a divorce papers.
Yes. Well, I don't know about file divorce papers. But like I said, I want to see that line blurred.
He's almost married now too, folks. So
nobody
no
signed
divorce papers.
Nobody signed papers yet.
Nobody yet. He put the yet in. The whole Bray Wyatt thing. This is one thing that I really haven't even touched on myself being on the show. Are you liking the way he's coming into the ring? With the whole...
Oh, you touched on this. You touched on this before. You touched on this a couple weeks ago.
That was when I was high after surgery?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I don't even remember that.
You were mad about it. Either way, I don't really care. I'm tired of people looking... Like, when the Fiend's music hits, they look up towards the Titantron, or the entrance, like he's going to come that way.
No,
why?
That was a big stutter. We're going to leave that in.
Just why? Don't, look around. Pretend like you know that he's coming, but you don't know where he's coming from.
Right. Is this going to be the way that he comes to the ring all the time, do you think?
As the Fiend, yes. I still think that there's going to be a line between Bray Wyatt and the Fiend.
So, is he... SummerSlam, when he takes on Finn, and we'll get to it, do you think he walks out as Bray Wyatt with his, sweater vest on or whatever, or he comes out with the mask on?
I don't know. I don't
and does he wrestle with that mask? I mean, we haven't really seen anything yet.
And what's with WWE bringing back old school moves? KO's got the stunner now. The Fiend has the mandible claw.
But he didn't the first week. The first week when he took out Finn, he hit him with Sister Abigail.
Right.
And now the last 2 weeks, Foley and Kurt Angle have gotten... Is it because they're old? That
they can't do the drop.
Right.
That could be it.
Or
that would make sense.
Or he's going to take out Legends a different way. Not because they can't do anything, but because with a move that they know.
Right.
I don't think Kurt Angle has ever taken a Sister Abigail.
No.
I mean...
But he's taking a lot of F5s.
Right.
What's the difference?
Yeah, it's probably
a spinny.
Yeah, it's a spinneroonie.
A spinny.
Spinny.
Instead of a slammy, it's a spinny.
Right after the show, we should have started with this, but this is how my notes are going. Harley Race passed away Thursday night. So you remember Harley, right? You remember him as the King?
No.
No, wait, still early.
Still a little earlier than me.
Yeah.
I mean, I've probably seen him, I just don't remember it. I remember the big names like Hogan, Macho Man, and Ultimate Warrior, and then Papa Shango and all them other guys. But
Papa Shango's a big name.
He was a big name.
He was a big name. He was a big name. How do you think...
King Kabuki?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm naming them all now.
Now you're on fire. Let's switch up to the women's tag team. These titles we were pushing for as hard as Sasha and Bayley were, and now they should be off TV.
Yeah, because they're not doing anything with them.
We have our third champion now as Nikki Cross and Alexa won the Fatal 4-Way match that whatever.
Here's my problem with that is Bayley and Sasha, okay, they paved a lot of the way for the new women's revolution. They deserve it. Great. Iconics. Definitely a tag team.
Right.
Kabuki Warriors.
Which you hate that name.
I hate the name. But definitely a tag team.
Sonya and Mandy.
The Golden Gloves.
Right.
Or whatever.
Absolution they used to be with Paige.
Right, but what do they call it? They call them something else. Fire and Desire.
Yeah, which is stupid
really
as well.
Stupid.
Right.
But those are three actual tag teams that should have held it. You put Alexa Cross and...
Alexa Bliss.
Welcome
back, Paul.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
You put these two people together, and they don't really deserve to be together, but Alexa Bliss is like
a goddess.
Joe. People love to hate her, so she's good, and she's good on the mic, so she's good to go after belts.
To carry Nikki. Yeah.
To go after belts and stuff like that, but it's not there yet. You know what I mean?
No, I do know what you mean, but as well, they want to show that, they're two singles competitors coming in together. We know this is breaking up. The crack is already there between Alexa and Nikki. That
the crack's all been there because of who Alexa Bliss is and what her character is.
Right.
It's happened numerous times.
Numerous times.
Millions.
And millions.
Of times.
I love what Dolph is doing.
You like what Dolph's doing?
I love Dolph being HBK now Monday night or Tuesday night.
Tuesday night he came out to Goldberg.
Coming out as Goldberg. I love it. Good. Mock people.
Yeah.
Mock.
And he did this before. And he mocked the Ultimate Warrior. And
the Macho Man.
Mama Warrior was pissed.
Yeah, well, she's also pissed about so much other things, too. But seems miserable right now.
Well.
As a writer. So, that was Raw. So, SmackDown.
Raw, that was kind of SmackDown, too.
Yeah, not much better. Really not much better. They dropped the ball on the whole Roman thing. They started, 20 minutes in, they say Roman's going to find out who did it. All right, cool.
Detective Roman.
And then the show runs long, and you don't know what the hell happened. Apparently, after the show went off the air last night, Tuesday night if you're listening to this, Roman calls out Rowan and says, I'm watching you. Like, private eyes, watching you.
I don't know that song, but it was good. That was
Hauling
good.
oats.
That was good.
Thanks.
We were hauling garbage today.
We were hauling garbage. I would like some. You ate some oats earlier today.
Yeah, I did. My breakfast of champions, an oat grain bar. Awesome.
This kid has been amazing breakfast, by the way, guys. We're still going to Sheets. We both get waters. We're being good on that. I'll do a donut, a peanut butter sandwich, a couple donuts, and he's stuck on this dry-ass
cardboardy, it's goodness.
Cardboard eating, no taste tasting, son of a bitch.
And then I have my lunch that Teresa makes me, and then we get like Subway or something. Like, not bad. Today was a little bad, but I didn't eat much of the Chinese food.
Yeah,
it was bad.
It was bad. So Roman doesn't find out anything. Sorry, that was our commercial break.
Yeah,
doesn't find out anything. Calls out Rowan, and we're recording it right now, and no match has been set.
Well, so he calls out Rowan, but the car that was almost hit him, Rowan wouldn't have fit in it.
Right. It's getting set up. It's been leaked, and we don't want to be leaks, but we're leaking because Roman's not on the lineup yet. Joe's not on the lineup.
Leaky of you.
You've been leaking a lot today. Joe's not on the lineup yet today. Daniel Bryan's not on the lineup.
Butt juice.
Great. That's our title. There's 3 big stars not on the SummerSlam roster right now. Whatever.
Card.
Yeah.
They're always on the roster.
Right, they are. So, you're not going to have a show without them.
No. So, they're going to find a way to get them all together. From what I've read, which I hate reading, but...
You do hate reading.
Whatever.
Period.
They want to make...
End of show.
They want to make Daniel Bryan
in 205.
A heel? No.
Oh.
They want to make him a heel that even the heels hate. So that's why they're bringing Joe into this. Because Joe is a heel regardless.
And everybody loves him.
Everybody loves him.
He's the new Randy Orton. I mean, the age is probably the same or everything, right. But in WWE, he's taken over for Orton because Orton's going to wean him way out.
But, like, The Miz is the same way. Miz is the heel that everybody hates.
Loves
to hate.
Yeah. Right. But KO is the same way.
Yeah, KO is another heel that you love.
No matter what he's doing, you love him.
Yeah.
You really do.
And now that he's handing out stunners, what did we call them? Canadian Bacon Buster bombs.
Who the hell calls him that?
I did. I was making...
When was that?
I don't like calling it the stunner. It's the Stone Cold Stunner.
Because it's all S's.
Yeah. Kevin Owens, it's got to be the Canadian Bacon Bomb.
Canadian Bacon Bomb. So it's CBB.
The CBB.
DDP is gonna hate that.
Well, he can go do some yoga about it.
Not much left. Not much left of SmackDown. That was it.
There was other stuff that happened, but none of it was important.
You took a match off of SummerSlam by having Aleister Black against Sami Zayn.
Because you needed it.
Well, yeah, you really did. They were rushed for time, but nothing happened.
Right.
Because Vince rewrote SmackDown 2 hours before the freaking show.
Vince, get your damn
Shit
nose
together.
out of the script. Let it be written, let it run.
Right. Yeah.
You have writers for a reason.
I agree.
I'm tired of Vince McMahon putting his nose into it because it's ruining it.
Ruined.
Ruined.
Firefly Funhouse, though. Husky the pig eating a lot of candy. Husky, whatever.
Remember his Brave's first character?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Husky Harris.
Husky Harris.
From Nexus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go back to that.
No, leave Bray in the Fiend.
I'm all right with Bray.
But Husky the Pig is kind of a hey, this is what I used to be.
This way I used to eat a lot of candy. This is Finn eating a lot of candy. You get sick when you eat candy.
You're going to throw up and I'm going to eat it.
What?
I'm the Fiend.
All right, OVW and MLW coming up, and then we'll be back to give you your SmackDown. No,
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
Not Survivor Series, not SmackDown, SummerSlam.
All right, it's that time of the week again as we cover MLW. They call it MLW Fusion. I've just caught on to that. Did you know this? I just call it MLW, but the show is actually called Fusion.
I've seen it on there and have no clue what it translates into.
Yeah.
What its meaning is.
Nonetheless, this is Chad, the no nickname guy yet because we still haven't really run it through the ringer, and he's not helping himself out by bringing anything to the freaking table.
Old age, I just can't think that far ahead.
It's a 2-beer show for me, as now I'm drinking the original Coors, the banquet beer, because that's what's in the fridge right now. So I'll be lit by the time I get done with the OVW report. Nice. All right. Let's make a big announcement first, and then we'll cover MLW. We put our money together, and we decided in November.
After the blessings from the wives.
Yeah, the mega
bribery.
blessings from the wives that we're heading someplace again.
I forgot where it's at.
It is Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and I think you know this, that it's the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday right after Thanksgiving, so it's the 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Yes.
We'll return on the 31st, the 1st, because there's only 30 days in November. We'll return back to our homestead on the 1st, but I'm in a little bit of trouble. Why is that, Chad?
Oh, Mark wants to propose and do this on his wife's birthday.
So, the bonus is the anniversary is the beginning of November. So we're going to put a little, side project together for the wife to incorporate both. Let her spend approximately what I'm going to spend in North Carolina at WrestleCade. And then we'll be broke and Ethan gets no Christmas presents.
It works.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah.
Hey, that's how I'm getting to go. Hey, honey, this is what I want for my Christmas present. Let me go and do this. She looks at me. She's like, do you realize what weekend that is? I was like, yes. The opening day of deer season.
Do you call it the opening day? Because it's kind of like Major League Baseball, football get opening day. Wouldn't you say the start? Or you guys, I'm not a hunter. This is a legit question.
Saturday this year is the opening day of hunting season, the start of firearm season. You could spin it whatever way you want to.
Okay, but whatever. Opening day for sports, but I guess hunting is a sport. I just look at it different. All right, let's get to MLW. And I said this off air. Good matches, but I thought the storylines a little bit, the vignettes and everything, it wasn't one of the best.
No, it wasn't.
You scared the shit out of the dog, by the way. But all right,
the matches were good. If you came into this episode not knowing at least the last couple of weeks or a little bit about it, you probably would have been lost. Probably wouldn't have really known what was going on. Like I said, the matches themselves, all of them were pretty decent. A lot better than other shows put on a weekly basis. This just was first show in, I don't know, 2 months I've watched that it was good.
It was good.
It was a good show. It's worth watching. Wasn't spectacular like, last couple of weeks.
And we'll get to a major point that we have once we transition into the segment that we are still looking at each other saying, what the hell did they do that for? But, all right, opening match was Low Key against Jimmy Unit? Yuta? Okay.
Not a lot going on here. Low Key keeping with the knocking out his opponent's thing that they have him running now. That's basically what it was. He
kicked him in the face.
He just kicked him in the face, and it was done.
Yeah, the ref stopped the match. See you later. It took them longer to show the recap of the last 2 months of him kicking people in the face, punching him in the face, than this match.
Then the match did.
Lasted.
It served its purpose. The only thing I'm looking at with this is they need to, I think they're at the point where they need to start stepping up the competition for him.
Yeah.
Versus, the lower card guys. Just got to step up the competition a little bit.
Give him that he's got to have it be Mance, since Mance is maybe buried for a little bit. Have him fight him, and if he knocks Mance out, cool. I'm all right with that, but it's going to take him 5 minutes to do it instead of 31 seconds.
Right.
Next up was Conan and Selena. This is an interesting story continuing. Go ahead.
Been following it. Selena's unleashing the devil. It's going to start taking out her opponents. Conan was kind of the one that she started with last week. He got her phone, and so they're playing this thing of she needs her phone back.
She's a millennial. Of course she needs her phone back.
And Conan tells her, 3 things are going to happen for you to get your phone back. Well, they only did mention one of them on the show, which threw me off a little bit, because is he going to give the phone back now, or is he going to wait till all 3 are done?
Right.
But the first one was signing a match between Jimmy Havoc and La Park.
And she kind of said no, and he's like, all right, well, you're not getting your phone back. Like a dad scolding a daughter.
Right.
That was it. And then begrudgingly, she said she'll make it happen in time.
Yeah, and Jimmy Havoc wasn't happy with it, but that was it.
Yeah.
Her being not just looks-wise one of the hottest angles there in wrestling and everything. This was, I don't want to say a letdown, but I can't think of another way to put it.
Perfect word.
You just expected more from her.
Yeah, you really did. Another vignette coming up was my boys, the Dynasty.
Oh, they're really playing this well now. Now it's lifestyles of the rich and dynastic.
This is amazing.
They're
so cheesy. It's amazing.
They're awaiting their new Ferrari and just talking. And out of nowhere, MJF tells Holiday and Hammerstone that Teddy Hart cannot use the Hart Foundation whatever to get in a match against him because he's failed his wellness policy.
Wow.
It was, now after that, you're like, holy crap. You go, you look, can't find anything anywhere about this.
Right.
And there was no reaction from like Davey Boy Jr. coming out or anybody come. It was just dropped. It was just like,
is it really there? Is it like Chad's actually wanting you guys to give him something? He's reaching towards the mic right now, saying, "Give him some information." But
yeah, that's basically, you were just like, "What the, where's this going?" And they just dropped it. That was unfortunately kind of the theme of the show.
Right. But the thing that I'm thinking is like, this isn't something that you just go and sprinkle around saying that you've done this. If it's real. All right, it gets leaked out from Meltzer or us or somebody's going to say something about it. You never want that tag on your career. Hey, Randy Orton's lived through it. I mean, people have got over it, but there's always that Barry Bonds syndrome that, oh shit, you did something wrong in your sport.
Yeah, and what, it could be something as simple as you just didn't have the waiver updated or didn't have whatever visit to the doctor for something that you've been on for 15 years or something like that. That example just came from tennis, of all things. But
Show's a random mess today.
very random. But they could have done something. It could have been something bigger. And you're never going to know unless the policies or unless the test is released. And
Right.
it's a bad juju on the wrestlers trying to, get over with fans, especially with, I know Mark loves baseball, with what baseball's gone through with the steroids and bonds and
Belko, and the list can go on. The Mitchell Report, yeah.
it's just a bad thing. So don't know if it's true. I'm leaning towards it's not.
I would think no. MJF just regurgitates anything he wants to anyway.
But what threw me off about it is nobody came out with any retaliatory action or saying anything, and it was that thing. I'm reaching towards a microphone. Give me more.
Right.
And they just left you there wondering what the hell was going on.
Next up, we have the return of the Spirit Squad. And I'm like, damn, I haven't seen these guys in a while. Cool. They're going to fight some schleds from nowhere. Get into the picture of, hey, they're here. They're in MLW. And I think it's a good fit for them. I do. And then they announce they're fighting the Von Erichs.
At that point, you knew they were screwed.
Done.
You knew they were going to get beat. It was just how badly, and it was bad. It was a double claw slam, and they're done. With that, I think earlier there was a announcement that Contra and a mystery partner are going against Von Erichs and Tom Lawler September 7th in Dallas. This will be the Von Erichs' first major wrestling event back in their hometown where, their dad, brothers, grandpa, and everything made their living. So this is going to be huge for them. This is going to be like Kerry Von Erich going against Ric Flair for the NWA title for these guys.
And if MLW does it right, Contra Unit screws them over and leaves to continue the storyline. And I'm saying it should happen that way. I know Dallas is going to be up in arms, ready to burn the city down, but to continue this great storyline, it needs to happen, especially there.
Yes, Freebird syndrome.
Yeah.
You could always have the Freebirds beat the Von Erichs, and it always worked out. I'm going to throw in on this, just reading this and having a sixth sense. I think somebody's going to turn on the Von Erichs. Either a partner that they have out there to watch their back or something. Somebody's going to turn on them.
Do you think Filthy Tom, that was my first choice, was they've got to Filthy Tom. Lawler's going to be the one. Because the mystery partner that they get is going to be somebody on the roster, somebody we know, somebody that, okay, is going to be a middle-of-the-line guy. And if he turns, good, he turned. But you have Lawler, which it carried the title for a while, one of the biggest guys fighting the Contra Unit, now turns and says, right here, to the Von Erichs, again, white heat.
Yep, that would be an automatic show stealer right there. An odd one to throw out here, and I don't know if they'll do it this soon. You could also have the Hart Foundation play some kind of role in this match. Maybe come out observing, for tag team match in the future purposes or whatever, and they accidentally cost
Pillman
the
Jr.
Von Erichs the match or something like that. I'm into the conspiracy theories this week, damn it.
Yeah, we all are. This is the part of the show that we, as soon as we hit the record button, before we hit the record button, we're like, what was the added match from a month ago brought into this for? So what were they covering up in the show that we just don't understand? Was Gringo the Loco, or I really have no clue who these guys were.
Now, before that, something that came in after the Von Erichs match, Contra members Samil and Gotch attacked the Von Erichs.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Von Erichs held them off, even though Gotch had a spike. They were holding their own, and then some new masked soldier, comes down and sprays whatever in Marshall's eyes.
Acid all over him. He was bleeding from the eyes. Did you see that?
It was nasty to me, but they're playing it well. It's a storyline again. Just along the lines of Magnum TA getting his face rubbed into concrete by the Andersons, or Jim Cornette burning Ronnie Garvin's face off. There's a right time and a right place for that stuff, and it means a lot more than if you just use it like you do throwing somebody into the rope all the time.
Right.
So that's kind of sitting there. Now they're, is Marshall going to be able to be in the match coming up? Or is he going to be out? Or are they going to bring somebody else in? Who would they bring in?
Does his dad step in?
That was my first thought. If anybody's seen, Kevin on TV, you can go on YouTube or anything like that. Even for his age, he's in freaking amazing condition.
Yeah.
I mean, he's never been the biggest guy, but he's just in amazing condition. Lots of things going on there, just giving you a lot of thought. But now back to the match that didn't make sense.
I don't know.
It was like they had to, it's like something went wrong in the show at some point, and they had to kill 10 plus minutes. And what throws it off even more than that is they put the main event on after they killed this time.
Yeah.
Why not? 10 minutes. Give the main event guys, give them another 10 minutes. But they killed it with a match that it was a filler match. It was a curtain jerker. It
was a filler match from the event that it was at. So just to put it in this event, and another thing is you go from Tony Schiavone is now back on MLW doing the announcing, along with, I was going to say Ian Rigobanis is ROH. What the hell is his name? Nonetheless.
Cornette's on there.
Well, Cornette is now the second member. It's the guy that I can't think of, and Cornette doing it. So to have that break, and they're in Chicago. It was WrestleMania 2 all over again. We're in Chicago. We're in New York. We're here. We're there. No, stop that. Just put it in and don't say that. Revoice over it. You can do that. There's audio equipment. I have most of it right here. Revoice over it.
It just didn't make any sense. So just wondering, what the hell is this? Yeah, I'm sure something's gonna come out about it.
Right? Did the match that was there just completely shit the bed?
Did something happen in the back? Did somebody get injured? Was there, an Arn Anderson, Sid Vicious incident again? Or, something like that? It was just really weird. And it was pretty bad. My 5-year-old, as we're looking at this on the computer watching this, he's like, Dad, what the hell is this match doing here?
Right.
I was like, okay.
If
my 5-year-old can pick that out, I think anybody could pick out that there's something off there. But
it wasn't a good match. So
no.
We'll skip over it. Backstage with Davey, he's talking about getting into a fight, not worrying about his sister kissing Hammerstone.
Just said he is going to beat his ass in the match. That was basically it. Sorry, love you, but I'm going to kill him.
Yeah, that was it.
That was basically it. This match, to me, it was the best match on the card, I thought. I may be a little bit partial to Davey Jr., but this was, as Mark said, before we got on the air here, this was an old school match. This was a Andersons versus, Rock and Roll Express or Dusty and Magnum match where you had the heels working on, or the heel working on leg and on the arm.
Yep.
Davey Boy's trademarks. If you can't get to a vertical basis, power doesn't do him any good. But then you have Davey on the other side doing the submissions and power, which you never seen him doing before, and he looked good at it.
He did look good at it. This was, I said, it was an old school match, and Mrs. Can Crusher was down here, and she's like, I haven't watched this much with you. She's like, what is this? This is wrestling I remember as a kid that her dad would watch. And again, retroactive back to TBS 605, that's where we go. When we're talking, that's where we always go. That's exactly what match it was. It was a great match.
And we've said on off air and on air that this episode wasn't anything overly special. It was a good episode. I think we were almost spoiled with the last couple of weeks, and things just
heating up,
and then they're cooling down they just cooled down for this week for some reason. It seemed across the board.
Well, I think it's because their next big thing, they have that September match in Dallas, which they're going to push, but that's a month off. Then they don't want to over push because their first ever pay-per-view is at the beginning of November, so I think they want to continue things as long as they can and then have the climax in November, with Heat adding in September. So you're going to get more of the local matches for a little bit. The vignettes are going to be the things that's going to carry the main event going for a while.
Yeah, you're not going to, I don't think you're going to see, 5-star matches approaching this. I think everybody's going to get their face time, get their moves. I think they're kind of feeling out the fans a bit to see how they're reacting to certain things, versus just throwing it in the fans' faces. So I think they're like you said, they're kind of scaling back with the climax being at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And anybody ever watched any wrestling in the 80s, you had maybe 3 pay-per-views a year before they got stupid with them. The TV shows led week to week to month. Your storylines, they're building up to a storyline. Just like when we were at the Crockett Cup and Magnum and Nikita talking about their series. That was an 8-month run.
Right.
8 months. Nowadays, Federation 8 month, you've gone against 5 different opponents, probably lost your title twice.
You're lucky you're getting 8 weeks. That was just 2 months.
They just go month. They just go month. I think these guys, like you said, they're kind of pushing it out, developing it, getting the excitement, getting the blood boiling. The fans' anticipation versus, oh, we got a pay-per-view in 2.5 weeks. We got to throw something together, and because wins and losses don't count.
Right.
Which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard any McMahon, Helmsley, or WWE person ever say. Wins and losses don't count.
That's your business. It's your business in a nutshell. All right, so that's MLW for the week. But if you're listening to this, you have probably a couple hours before a huge announcement that came seconds before we're on the air. NWA is going to be live tonight, 6 o'clock Eastern time, to announce...
We don't know.
Billy Corrigan just says he's got a big announcement.
A huge announcement that's going to change the landscape of wrestling.
So we put our 2 heads together, and we thought a couple things. One, we thought a big pay-per-view they're going to start promoting maybe 2 months, 3 months down the line. And then we were like, oh, where's it going to be? We agreed that it needs to be in the Mid-Atlantic area. Charlotte, North Carolina, Baltimore, somewhere around there, right?
Yep. You'll lose the fan base. And this, you go somewhere else, you lose this fan base, this could kill the promotion. This could make it a joke. They need to build it up. They need to stay where the hardcore NWA fans, and that are from the 80s and stuff like that. Plus, you owe a lot to the Crockett's. You got to stay in the area, Mid-Atlantic area.
Number 2 that I'm going to throw at Chad that we didn't say off the air. How about that they are getting a TV deal? Have it be with some channel, Access, or I don't see it being TBS or anything, but an Access channel or whatever, something that's on cable. Because when we were at the Crockett Cup, Corrigan did say that's something that he'd like to push forward to. Do you think it's too soon?
I think it would be too soon. There's, other than Nick Aldis, Nick Aldis and James Storm with their titles. Everybody else is kind of like, I don't want to say up in, their hands up what's going on. But you have Ring of Honor, who they're supposedly not having a working relationship with.
But the Briscoes are still there.
Holds their tag team titles. The women's wrestler, she's traveling everywhere. I don't know. I think they'd be pulling the trigger on that a little bit too soon.
Or is there another partnership that Corrigan is going to say, all right, we really did cut ties with ROH, and that was with air quotes. We're going to transition to AEW for a little bit.
I could see that's the one that I think is most likely. AEW or MLW. I would lean more towards AEW because they have the funding there, and that could be really enticing for Corrigan to work with them. And I'm going to add this on, and I said this when we first talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I really think the no working relationship with Ring of Honor is a work. I think it's a cover-up. I think what they're going to do is they're going to say, we're partnering, say, with AEW and putting on this, and then it's going to be the Ring of Honor, led by the Briscoes, coming in and creating absolute decimating havoc in the whole thing. And then it's going to be Corrigan saying, this is the exact reason why we didn't want to have a partnership, because those guys aren't controllable. We don't blah, blah, blah. I just have a feeling that's the angle that they're playing up. Because Corrigan's not stupid. He owns it and he can do whatever he wants with it. But at the same token, he's a wrestling fan first and foremost. And he's going to develop them. He's going to get them out there. Do the best that he can without going ridiculous. I just see this being an invasion angle.
Yeah, I agree with you on the ROH thing. And my heart of hearts is saying that this is going to be really an announcement about, hey, November 4th, which is my anniversary, there's a pay-per-view in North Carolina, and Chad and Mark from Can Crushers are welcome to come.
That could work that. I could work that. You're going to have to get another pass from the wife, but that's on you.
That pass would not happen. So, all right, Chad, I'm going to transition over in the OVW report, tell them about the amazing weekend that I had in Louisville. We will catch up with you next week. But before we go, any SummerSlam predictions, because ours are at the end of the show? Or are you even going to watch it, because it's going to be 17 hours long?
I want to see the Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar match.
Which will be at midnight.
Yeah, or close to. Predictions, I don't know. Because they're bringing... for God's sakes, they're having Goldberg.
Again.
Yeah. A little over a month after he, pretty much...
knocked himself out.
Yeah. But predictions... somebody new is going to cost Seth Rollins the match. They're going to take him a different direction, unfortunately, and leave the title on Brock. And other than that, I think AJ Styles is going to win. Other than that, not paying not paying too much attention to it till then.
There will be a few beverages drank at my house Sunday night, so I definitely probably will not make it to the end. So that's my predictions are coming up with Paul at the end of the show. You'll be able to hear them, but I'm not excited for it. It starts at 5 o'clock, and it literally is going to run until after midnight again because it's the second biggest pay-per-view. It's 7 hours. Figure it out. This is a precursor because we figured it out and we record stuff randomly. This week alone, there's more than 24 hours of WWE content to watch. It's too much.
It's just they're really trying to bury everybody else by throwing almost everything they can at the other federations. I just like to say something on the side, on the unfortunate side for those who know about Harley Race passing away early this week. Very tragic, but he is, I hate to say it, he's in a better place. He's not been in good health for years. He's been in a lot of pain in that. I had the, how do you say it?
The fortune of meeting him?
Of meeting him. Sorry, I'm just picturing this back, people. When I got back from Iraq and went to a TNA show, he was there and signing autographs, taking pictures with people. He was there in a wheelchair, and he would stand up for all the pictures. He wouldn't sit down for them. Take as much time to talk to people. Just a really nice guy, and it's a shame to see him gone. But hey, he's up there with Dusty and Piper, and I'm sure they're probably calling all kinds of havoc.
Yeah. So that's the MLW report with Chad. And guys, really send in some nicknames for Chad because just saying Chad is, it's not working too well. He needs a nickname. So this past weekend, I made the trip back down to Louisville for what was an SNS, Saturday night special. But prior to that, there was a block party that was held by Brian Kinnison out in Davis Arena. You had the chance to throw axes. You had some ice cream, some food. Dave and Buster's were there. 3 members of the OVW roster were in a dunk tank. If you want to see any of that, I Facebook Lived it. A lot of you have liked it already. Thank you. They were fun. All that money went to charity. It was a fun like a family experience for the OVW fans, and man, I loved it. Hopefully this is something that continues next year. Keep this block party going as we get more involved in with it. It was just fun. As well, that night, as I said, there was an SNS, Saturday Night Special. And during the Saturday Night Special, there was a whole wraparound when we were at the Combine a few months ago. Well, this month, they had the draft. And I have the draftees and a interview with one of the draftees coming up here in a minute. But let's run over the show as it took place as well. Callie starts off the show, and she's going to fight Jessie Bell. And Jessie Bell's in control most of the match. And Callie, being as smart and witty as she is, actually ends up getting the pin. But, of course, she raked the eye, she pulled the tight, she cheated as much as Callie does. Next match on the docket is KTD, former Can Crusher alum, and Sam Thompson taking on Drew Hernandez and Amon. And this was just hot. It was hot. There was chains involved. It was just, and KTD was telling everybody, hey, he's got wins over Amon. He's got wins over Amon. He let everybody know that. Back and forth, and chains, like I said, come involved. They hit the faces, and Drew and Amon both hit their finishers, the straight to hell and the power bomb, and the heels get the win. Next up is the Entourage, which is DL3 and Shiloh Jones taking on William Lutz and Mr. Marvelous. Cove and Mrs. Marvelous were in the faces corner, and they beat the hell out of Lutz for the longest time. They really did. Mr. Marvelous gets the hot tag, and boom, match over. Mr. Marvelous pretty much cleans house. But the sub-story of this whole thing is DL3 and Shiloh just not on the right page. I expect that the Entourage 2.0 is going to blow up here in the near future, and it's all over Thunder Kitty. You know, the guys are letting a woman get in between them. No, not going there. Pulling it back, whatever, however the storyline goes. I'm not getting in the middle of that. Next up is... there was an announcement about Isaiah and Leonis having a bar fight. So out comes King's Ransom, Maximus, and he doesn't have a partner for the night. Well, Cash Flow comes out and says, I don't have a partner either, but those damn tag team titles are going to get defended. And later on in the night, we find out who both partner is. Randall Floyd and Dustin Jackson. This match just turns into a bar fight. These two have had draws. They've just really have gone at each other recently. And this is a great storyline that just needs to continue because these guys are both high up on the totem pole in OVW. And I think one is going to be in line for a title shot here in the near future against whoever wins in the main event tonight. So we'll have to find out, but this match was just scrapped and thrown away as a no contest, but fists were flying. We have a fatal four-way match between Dimes, Chase Destiny, another Can Crusher alum, Nigel, and Brandon Wolf. Dimes and Wolf beat down, which they're called the Void before, so we're going to continue to go with them. They also have Filthy Money, Nigel and Chase. Not sure where they're going with the name, but they're just getting to be dastardly. They really are. The Void comes back and works over both of them individually, but Dimes hits a Changemaker, hits a stunner, to everybody and gets the win. The tag team title match is up, and Cash Flow comes out first and announces that his partner is Jay Bradley, the OVW TV champion. And Maximus comes out and says, oh, don't worry, I can one-up that. And he has Big Zoe as his partner. And this looks like it's going to be amazing. This is going to be a Donnybrook. Bell rings and Zoe turns on Maximus right off the bat. Just crushes him. You have 3-on-1. Ref doesn't know what the hell's going on. Ashcroft hits the ring after the pin because we have a new tag team champions in the form of the Legacy of Brutality, Cash Flow, and Jay Bradley, and Zoe is in the mix of it. Guys, look out. This threesome is going to destroy OVW unless somebody comes up and helps the War Kings, or King's Ransom. Man, I'm going to get punched in the face by that. Helps King's Ransom out, but nonetheless, this really needs to happen. Unsanctioned match is Meg Bain against Hip Hop Valerie Berman, Hip Hop BB as we say, and VB just keeps bashing Meg with a bat. Meg's knee looks like it's going to explode, and unbeknownst, Meg gets a couple moves in, and then boom, grabs a bat and takes out VB, hits her with an F5, and keeps the title. But after the match, Valerie says, you know what, after I come back from my suspension, because it's unsanctioned, she could have wrestled nonetheless, and she did. Valerie could have another shot at this title, and if she keeps weakening down Meg, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Meg right now is ripe for the pickings. If somebody scoops in, Meg could be in a world of hurt. The Titan, Trinidad Titan, Justin Smooth takes on Category 5 Corey Storm. I should probably have some more beers as just rambling and rumbling through this today. This match had everybody in Davis Arena on their feet. This was the hottest match I've seen in OVW for a while. Sitting with lighting, I was on the edge of my chair just watching what this is going to be, how this is going to work out, and I really thought Storm was going to pull this. He hit the Eye of the Storm off the top rope at 1-2-0, and then he gets the pin, 1-2-3, and Smooth his foot's on the rope. And, of course, Daniel Spencer, the referee, awards the match to Corey Storm. Out comes another referee and reverses the decision because Daniel's not paying attention once again. And then we have another match again. The match continues. You think Corey's going to get the win again. He climbs to the top rope. Smooth looks like he's not moving. Boom! He gets his foot up. Street Justice 1, 2, 3. Match over. Justin Smooth retains the title. But, as like I said, it was the draft, and I want to mention some of the people that are now on scholarships with OVW, as they were awarded 2-year scholarships to go to the Al Snow Wrestling Academy. You have Luscious Lawrence, you have Cedric Miller, you have Danny, who was just recently on the show, you have William Alexander Moore, another person from the show, Andre Smith, Trinidad Titan, and King's Ransom both got scholarships. And just going down the line, Meg Bain, Donovan Cecil, Callie Young, our boy Dustin Ridings. We were going to try to talk to him, but we couldn't get him as he had prior engagements. Greg Weber, 16 people were announced. And folks, I want to stop right now and say we did get to talk to one person, and his name is AJ Daniels. So let's send it over to that real quick, and then we'll come back. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to one of the 15 newest members of the OVW roster. Welcome to the Al Snow Wrestling Academy, AJ Daniels. How does that feel?
It's unbelievable. It's unreal to me for you to even speak those words in the same sentence. You know, like they always say, opportunity comes, you take it. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's unbelievable, unbelievable.
We saw you at the Combine. You got that match that night. How was that feeling, first and foremost?
Well, the match itself, you know, it was surreal, but the actual fact that I got to wrestle for the OVW Tag Team Championships, like
your first night.
Right, you know, like I remember growing up watching OVW, you know, like on TV. So I mean, for me to actually be a part of the organization is big for me. It's like the biggest opportunity I've had. You know, I've been doing this for 7, almost 8 years, and you know, and they always say, you know, if you had that one shot, that one opportunity, you know, and I grasped it. You know, I seized it. So I mean, it's time to stay focused and get it.
You did, and now it's time to run with this. Last question. I know you have a lot to do. In the meanwhile, run home and pack up the family and move to Louisville, right?
Yes, sir.
How does this change your life? What has just left your shoulders?
Weight. A lot of weight, you know, like I feel weightless. Like I have, you know, zero gravity. You know, which is my stage name,
Cheap
by the way.
pop, but we'll get to that.
So you know, it's just it's a touchy feely type deal. So I mean, I just hope that the experience is exactly what it is, which it has no other chance but to be exactly that. So I'm just ready to come along, and hopefully the OVW fans are ready to experience outer space firsthand.
Well, once again, welcome to the Al Snow Wrestling Academy. And folks, you'll be able to hear a spotlight from AJ after school begins and we set everything up and you get twisted and bent for a little bit from OVW.
Yes, sir. Well, only thing I can say is Louisville, Kentucky, September the 23rd, here on for the next 2 years. You can call this the outer space territory. So you hear how emotional he is in that interview, and it's unbelievable. He drove hours from North Carolina to be in Louisville, and this is just going to change his life. I actually talked to his wife a little bit before I talked to AJ, and this is just going to help out. You know, being associated with the Al Snow Wrestling Academy is where you want to be. So congratulations to all of them, and congratulations to AJ Daniels. Thanks for stopping by and being on the show. I'm sure we'll have most of them on the show here in the near future, but right now, here comes the owner of OVW, Al Snow, telling you about Collar and Elbow.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
What's up, bro? It's former television champion Dustin Jackson. You're listening to Can Crushers Podcast.
Like Mark said, the pre-show starts at 5 p.m. on Sunday for SummerSlam. The card is not great. I don't think so.
I don't either. I really don't. The random matches, when we get to them and you announce them, I'll tell you I'm actually interested in it or not. So go from the bottom up. These are rumored matches.
So there,
no predictions on these because
I have four rumored matches.
When we're not making predictions.
Maybe 5.
And again, if you're just joining us, we bet beers on this. So whoever has the worst record between us two has to buy the beer for next week's show.
So the first 5 that I got.
Now it's the 5 rumored matches. It might be 6.
I said 4, maybe 5. So the
6 will probably be a 24/7 championship title.
Yeah, there'll
defense.
probably be a run through on the 24/7 champion. So there is 6.
There's 1.
So Aleister Black versus Sami Zayn, which they used on SmackDown. So, but will it happen again? No, in WWE, probably.
Probably, but why? Because Black just smoked Sami Zayn.
Right. But,
Smoked him. See ya.
But it's Sami Zayn. He's the critic of the
Smoker.
critics.
Yeah. All right.
The New
Day
versus Heavy Machinery for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Where did this come from?
Right. Heavy Machinery was #1 contenders a month and a half ago. Never really got anything. New Day sweeps in and gets the championship, not being #1.
Out of a 4-way title match,
Right.
title defense, like...
Hello. So maybe they're going to try carrying this over, but there's nothing with it.
No.
There's no juice behind it.
Cedric and Drew, which ended on Monday Night Raw as a no contest.
I could see where this is going. This could be, as much as Drew, I don't think should be on a pre-show. No disrespect. He's just that damn good. Cedric the Entertainer, meh.
Cedric's good too, though.
Not in this storyline. I just didn't, there's no balls behind it.
No balls. Speaking of no balls, IC title match, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ali.
Again. Shinsuke
is your IC title holder.
And he's not featured. Again, he gets another title. They did the same thing with this U.S. title with him. They give him a title.
And then he's not
then he's not on a show for months.
All of your titles should be on...
Not every show,
not
but
every show,
at least
but
every other.
Every pay-per-view.
Yes. Yeah, but then you're just full of title matches. I don't want pay-per-views full of title matches.
Well, yeah, but you're seeing the same match every week on Raw and SmackDown that you're going to see on...
a pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view.
Right. That's because you're too much stuff. What we said at the beginning of the show. There's too much content.
Reigns and Bryan is the other one that's rumored to happening. And we also went a step further, that me and you went a step further and said it'll be Reigns and Joe versus Bryan and...
That at least makes sense because, all right, so Joe's pissed off at him, but he's not pissed, but they have some type of heritage. Together.
What's up, Oos?
Yeah, they're all Ooses. They had a Samoan summit the other day.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They were eating chicken wings up at the summit in Ridgeway.
They at least can tie this together that Joe was there to watch the crash, and he now knows that it was Daniel Bryan driving it, and Rowan was in the back pushing it with the elephant on the trunk. Whatever you want to say.
Would that be trunk on trunk then?
It was trunk on trunk action.
Okay.
So, nonetheless, you could stretch this into a match, and it takes care of 3 of your top superstars in the WWE right now to get on SummerSlam. Do I give 2 shits about it, though? No. None. All right, now we're ready to start making our bets.
All right.
Well, the bet's made. It's just our predictions.
Pre-show is going to be your 205 Live champion, Gulak versus
Lorcan?
Oh, Lorcan.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm hiccuping.
You are drunk off of Smooth Eddie. I don't know. I haven't watched 205 in 6 months. Gulak keeps the title.
Yeah, we're both going Gulak. Sorry. Where I'm guessing you're next, because you're gonna have 2 or 3. I don't know who else is gonna be on there. Probably one of the girls' matches, and it's not gonna be Bailey. It's not gonna be the man. It'll probably be Bailey and Ember.
I bet you they go, Bailey and Ember first. Because they're going to save Flair and Stratus for later on in the night.
Yep. So that's where we're going. Who you got, Bailey or him?
I love Bailey. I really do. Is this a way to bring Sasha back? I don't know.
How are you
going to bring Sasha
with
back
Ember?
on this? I don't know. I really don't. But
she has been at WWE events lately.
well, and I was talking to Dustin Jackson last night from OVW about WWE 2K20. That whole video game now is about, not all of it, but there is a women's career mode now, and Sasha's one of the ones that you get to play your career. The 4 horsewomen are the ones that you get to play their career. So you know now that Sasha's definitely coming back. She's not going to be on this game.
Well, they still own her rights.
Right. I understand that. So does she come back now? Does she come back the Monday out? I don't know. I want Bailey to win, but I really think, and I'm going to make this prediction, it's Ember's time. She does need a title before she gets buried.
I'm going with the hugger.
All right.
And
I'm glad you're...
And I want the other one to win. I want Ember to win because I love Ember, but I don't think Bailey's ready to lose that title yet. It's not. I don't think that that's going to happen.
I'm all right with that.
So
if that's the one I lose over and costs me beer,
So now I'm going to go with trash matches that I don't care about. Zig versus Goldberg.
Goldberg's getting the win. He, as putrid as his last match was, Zig is always somebody
You have to remember that he went against The Undertaker, who is just as old as he is.
The Undertaker didn't knock himself out in the freaking corner, though.
That's true.
Goldberg did. All right? So he just gets the win over Zig because Zig is the boy that can put on greatness and bounce back after a loss like this.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. Or Michaels gets involved and gives Goldberg the win. Michaels is going to be there.
Yeah.
They're setting up for Zig against Michaels someplace. Probably Saudi Arabia.
Here's another match that I could give a shit about. Charlotte versus Trish.
It's in Toronto. Trish isn't coming back to lose to Charlotte.
Unless she's staying...
She's not staying. There's no way she's staying around.
I'm giving it to Charlotte.
All right, whatever. And I really don't care about that match either.
No. Bray versus Finn.
Finn, we've said this 2 months ago. Finn wants time off.
Yeah.
Bray is going to decimate him.
And I'm almost positive that's why Bray has been attacking Legends.
Who?
Bray. Bray, the Fiend.
Finlay?
The Fiend was almost there. Bray is what I was trying to say. Has been attacking Legends because Finn isn't there.
Right. Sounds good.
U.S. title. I didn't finish writing that. AJ versus Ricochet.
I don't think AJ loses yet. I really don't. With the OC, which also, your Raw Tag Team Champions, are they on there anywhere?
They're not on here.
They're not on there anywhere. Apparently, they don't have a tag team, or they'll get a tag team, and it's going to be Usos!
Yeah. No, the Usos are probably in trouble.
Again.
Again.
Yeah, because it was in Detroit. They like drinking there. AJ keeps it. The OC is going to stay strong for a while.
Yeah. They might add Ricochet to that group, but I don't know yet.
I don't know about Ricochet. I think Finn comes back in a couple months and is going to be a big player in the OC.
I don't know if it's a loser leave match or if Kevin Owens loses, he leaves.
It's only Kevin Owens.
Okay. So KO versus Shane.
You put that stipulation on it.
That's a no-brainer. Kevin Owens isn't going anywhere.
No. Not at all.
So he's winning that match.
Right.
Beck versus Nat it's a submission match.
It is a submission match. You're going to see Nat get the sharpshooter on and keep it on for probably most of the show. And Beck's finally going to get over the ropes, and as she reaches for the ropes, she's going to somehow twist it over, and it's going to be a quick disarmer. I don't know where she goes next, who's next in line for Beck, but I know you love Nat. It's just not going to happen.
No, that's not going to happen.
This is a one-off.
I'm going to save that one for last. Brock versus Seth for the Universal title.
I don't care. If I have to pick somebody, it's going to be Brock again. I don't see how they're going to let Seth win this. I don't know. It's always that underdog story, climbing back. And
I'm giving it to Seth because of how beat up he's been over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I understand that. I really do. But the title means nothing. So, I'd rather hold a piece of paper and be happier with that than the Universal Championship.
So here's the match of the night, I think. Kofi Kingston, your heavyweight champ, versus Randy Orton.
This should be the main event for me. This should be the one that starts at 11 o'clock and little Galbo sitting on my chair falling asleep. Me drunk talking to Big Galbo, watching SummerSlam. This should be your last match because this is going to probably be an upper tier quality wrestling match.
Yes.
I think Randy gets the rub. He gets the win. I think he's long in the tooth, and I think this is one more title run for him. Whatever the next pay-per-view is, whatever it's called, Kofi can battle again or something. I am still one that this is the only feud that Kofi has done anything in. You know?
And it's just him. It's not New Day. It's just Kofi.
Yeah.
You're a real son of a bitch because I figured you were going to go with Kofi.
No, I was not. I think Randy gets one more championship, and this is perfect because Randy is that guy. If he wins, people are going to be happy. If he loses, people are going to be happy because they love Kofi. So you give it to Randy, and he can go on this venomous tour.
I think Randy is the only one on the roster that could beat Kofi and people won't riot.
Oh, yeah. You're not going to have Roman take it. I mean...
No, because you want to build Roman as your...
Face. Yeah.
And...
I think KO could have. If they would have did that right, KO could have as well. Because we just said a while back that KO's in the same bloodline as a favorite heel.
The Joes, the Miz's.
Speaking of which, you brought up a good point on the back of the truck today about Joe and 25 title championship. What was that again?
Oh, since he's been in WWE, he's had, I want to say it was 11 or 12 title matches. 2 against Brock Lesnar, a couple against AJ, a couple against Roman. And but he hasn't won one yet.
We're talking the WWE Championship
or the Universal, both of them. He hasn't,
not the mid card one.
No, not the IC, because he's won the IC and the US, I think.
This is the US.
Yeah. But he hasn't won a heavyweight title match.
But why? What's your thoughts?
Because
on that?
he is such a good heel.
Yeah.
And everybody loves him. That whether he wins or he loses, he's going to be right back in it again.
Yeah.
A couple months down the road, he's going to open his mouth again, whoever champion is.
Pop him in it.
Yeah.
So, there's our predictions for...
We only have like 4 or 5 matches that separate us, but
that's normal. That's normal, and normally by that one, like, the main event's not going to matter. It could be like 9:30, I'm like, hey, you lost. And then I get a middle finger emoji.
Yeah.
That's the way
Probably
it is.
because he woke me up.
Well, it is because I woke you up. All right, English Professor's up next, and we get to do Paul's shtick.
The lush, verdant bushes were nourished by the quiet waters that moved softly under the Bridge of Serenity. Crossing into the Garden of Tranquility required only a few steps for anyone wishing to visit the Temple of Changlao. But for Rick Steamboat, who yearned to wear the jacket and black belt of the Order of Changlao, great challenges that would test his physical, mental, and emotional prowess lay ahead. A ninja threw 3 calculated fists and an elbow. Only the stealth head movement of the dragon could evade the strikes. A swift knee to the abdominal muscles slowed the ninja briefly, but it would take more than that to cross the Bridge of Serenity. A second ninja joined the attack and was met with a cross kick which sent him crashing onto the wooden planks. The dragon held the first ninja by the wrist and flipped him head over heels, slamming the hidden warrior onto the bridge's boards. His opponent was not moving, but the dragon did not relent. He knew that to do so would lead to carelessness and ultimately defeat. Instead, he stabbed his fingers into the ninja's throat and rendered him unconscious. The second sightless assassin recovered from the kick and threw a wide punch, but the Dragon easily blocked that strike and countered with a chop to the midsection and another to the neck, which nearly thrust the Ninja over the bridge, draping him face down on the railing with the upper half of his body dangling dangerously towards a watery grave. This was 13 seconds into the Dragon's training. Mean Gene marveled at Steamboat's abilities, but also at the beauty and peacefulness surrounding him. He heaped praise upon the latest WWF superstar, but the Dragon's focus remained on crossing the bridge for his next battle, because like Ryu, walking alone after refusing his Street Fighter trophy, the fight is everything. The sound of soothing Far Eastern music kissed the air as Mean Gene and Ricky Steamboat cautiously crossed the Bridge of Serenity like the two guys from Double Dragon, knowing that despite the momentary calm, more violence awaited ahead. In the Garden of Tranquility, the Dragon would still battle ninjas, but this time the Walkers of Shadows would have weapons. One ninja twirled kendo sticks like the guy from Indiana Jones twirled swords. If this was an attempt at intimidation, the Dragon remained poised and awaited his opponent's first move. Steamboat had one stick to the ninja's two, but whereas the Dark Warrior focused solely on using his weapons, the Dragon used everything available to him, including his hands and feet. The ninja also only threw wide strikes, but the Dragon used his stick to jab and smack his foe, easily disposing of him with a kick to the gut. Two more warriors of the night emerged from the shadows of the trees to administer their lesson to Chang Lao's pupil. The Dragon continued to confound the ninjas with his varied assault, which included elbows, kicks, and several launch angles of attack with his stick. His final opponent in the Garden of Tranquility took a smack of the stick to the tailbone, followed by a left-handed wind-up and swing that would have made the Babe jealous, resulting in a jarring crack to the back of the head that put out the lights for the ninja and turned his legs to lo mein. Finally, the Dragon reached the temple of Chang Lao. He was to battle even more Knights of the Night, but these clashes were to take place in front of the Order of Monks. Chang Lao stood on a slightly raised platform while the other monks sat at his feet. According to the translation on the screen, he announced, "This is the third and greatest test." Off camera, a Chinese gong sounded to signify the opening of the event. Chang Lao and the Dragon bowed to one another. This time there weren't 2 or 3 ninjas, but 4 ninjas, and they did not strike individually. These spies presented more of a unified front than the previous members of their army. The first ninja jumped on Steamboat's back and attempted a choke, but the Dragon flipped him over his shoulder. 2 more charged at him, but he hit them simultaneously in their respective bellies and flipped them over his shoulders as well. When they jumped up and ran at him again, hoping to catch him from the blind side, the Dragon did the same things, but backwards, nailing them both with back fists to the gut and flipping them forward. He caught another ninja in a bear hug and no-sold a double chop to the neck. He used this ninja as a barrier against the strikes from the other 3 ninjas. He dropped his human shield and drove a knee into the midsection of his second nemesis and an elbow to his head. He took a round kick to the teeth from the third rival, but no-sold that, too. He nailed him with one chop to the neck and then threw 2 kicks to the only remaining ninja. He maintained his martial arts stance in the event one of these defeated masters of invisibility would attempt to pounce again. Observing the limp and broken piles of the shinobi, the Dragon relented and turned to face Chang Lao. Another gong sounded to signify the test's conclusion, and Chang Lao and Rick Steamboat again bowed to one another. A monk who had been holding the jacket and belt handed them to Chang Lao, who then presented them to Steamboat and said, "You have successfully passed the 3rd test. We welcome you to our order." Another gong, another bow. Ricky Steamboat wins. Fatality. My friends and I reenacted this skit over and over again the next time we were all outside together, which was probably later that day or the next day, each of us taking turns as Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, while the rest of us assumed the roles of Chang Lao's mercenaries. Although we were far from the Bridge of Serenity and the Garden of Tranquility, we all crossed the threshold of our New York City sidewalk and into the jungle of concrete. Occasionally, a motorized beast appeared from the wilderness beyond our tight neighborhood road and approached us on the one-way street, at which point one of us would shout the warning, "Caw!" Then we'd return to our guttural groans and cries of "Kia!" as we chopped and kicked each other. We hated the 4-letter F word when discussing wrestling. We believed everything we were seeing on a wrestling program. We convinced ourselves of wrestling's legitimacy by putting the figure 4 leg lock on each other and clamping down. The pain and screams were real. But despite our strong belief system and the fun we had recreating Ricky Steamboat's entrance exam, even we laughed at the absurdity of that skit. We made jokes about the gaping distances between shots that were supposed to have connected. We laughed at the ninjas who were seemingly standing in place waiting to be hit. One of us may have even said, "That was so fake." But not long after that skit, the Dragon found himself in a seething feud with Magnificent Morocco, who would use that sacred black belt to hang Steamboat over the top rope. During one of their matches, Steamboat hit Morocco with some knuckle chops to the head, and blood dripped from the brow of his right eye. Did Steamboat hit him that hard? Was Morocco a magician with the blade? Was it real blood? Steamboat continued to use the chops and wild kicks we saw in the skit on Morocco's body and head, even including the first version of a ghetto blaster I ever saw, a good 3 years before the debut of Bad News Brown. Morocco was at a loss. Suddenly, that silly skit had some merit. While I didn't necessarily believe the skit was genuine, I believed Steamboat could really mess someone up with his hands and feet. And as our good buddy Al Snow says, it's about making them guess what's real. Mark and I have talked about skits and vignettes and how much we miss them. Mr. Perfect hit a home run, shot a three-pointer backwards, ran the table following a break, bowled a 300, and even dropped back to throw a full-field bomb, waited a few seconds for good measure, then ran 100 yards and caught his own pass. Vince and his crew would arrive on location without permits to fill Razor Ramon's scenes. Kayfabe was still a thing, and there's footage of Scott Hall in between takes talking to the Miami locals who were watching the filming. "Yeah, man, we're going to film this today, and then they're going to put it on TV in a few weeks." As preposterous and unreasonable as it was for Razor Ramon to smash the plates at a restaurant because the waiter had the audacity to give him his check, as ridiculous and farcical as it was for Razor to shoplift the fruit vendor, then spit in his face when questioned, as ludicrous and laughable as it was to believe that this guy called Razor walked along a beach or a town square and smacked people around for fun, the actors were all committed to their roles, even the fruit vendor wiping plum juice from his face. And the skits sold us something, whether it was a character or a match or a story. We knew that no matter the odds, Mr. Perfect would find a way to win because he was absolutely perfect. When Razor Ramon swaggered to the ring and displayed his brute force and bullying tactics, such as slapping his opponent to the mat and then telling him to get up, only to slap him back to the mat again, it made sense because a few weeks earlier, we saw the bad guy dunk a man who was flipping dimes into a wishing fountain. What did WWE hope to forward with the story of Maria Kanellis' OBGYN appointment? Which characters were they pushing? What future match did this tease? And while the Dragon probably wasn't on location in Southeast Asia, at least he was outside with a bridge and a garden. Is there anyone who believed Maria Kanellis was in a doctor's office? Maybe because I've been to PPG Paints Arena, I could tell they were still in the building. But was anyone fooled by this? I've heard rumors that the restaurant Razor Ramon busted up was actually a school cafeteria. But at least there wasn't a science book a student forgot still sitting on the desk. WWE set designers and continuity people did nothing to make us believe that Kanellis was there for a checkup on her baby, including the fact that she kept her 6-inch heels on while her feet were strapped in the stirrups. With zero dedication or believability, Kanellis played the part of the dominant wife. Her husband Mike suddenly, and without buildup, grew a sack and pinned her. Remember when Virgil finally had enough and smashed the $1 million belt into Ted DiBiase's face? The buildup lasted weeks, with DiBiase reminding us that Virgil's mother was sick and destitute. We never did find out if Virgil's mom kicked whatever was ailing her or if she hit the Powerball. But her sickness and her poverty were important details in leading up to Virgil finally finding the courage to break free from the $1 million man's control. We've seen Maria mistreat Mike, but we never got any indication he was planning a betrayal. Throughout the Godfather trilogy, new characters emerge, and we are to believe they've been in the family since the beginning. Good writing and good actors can make that work. Vince ain't Coppola, and Mike Kanellis ain't De Niro. If WWE at the last moment sprung this plot twist that Mike was going to stand up for himself against his wife, Mike and Maria aren't good enough actors to make it work. My favorite referee from NXT was disguised as the Doctor, and she counted the win for Mike. What doctor would allow a wrestling referee into her office? Where was the doctor? How did the referee get access to a mask and scrubs? Since when does an OBGYN wear a mask and scrubs? Not that I've ever been to one. Once Mike had the belt, he ran out to the waiting room and celebrated. There was R-Truth in drag waiting to regain his belt. He flubbed his lines and nearly dropped his prop early, but he threw a doll at Mike, which was a rehash of what Miz and Maurice did, and rolled him up for the pin. Carmella jumped on R-Truth's back. Truth delivered another line about having his baby back, and he ran off with Carmella riding piggyback. I've tried to avoid saying this. This skit is so stupid that it doesn't need me to pick it apart any further. But after a few weeks of these moronic skits, R-Truth's performances are becoming more stereotypical and offensive. His hunching over, exaggerated facial expressions, wandering eyes, and overly drawn-out speech stopped just short of Tony Atlas saying, yes, sir, Mr. McMahon, while eating a watermelon during his promos, or carrying a spear to the ring years later. Rumor has it Vince sits in the back and laughs hysterically at this nonsense. Let me reiterate what I said on this segment before. You're a piece of trash, Vince. Truth isn't alone in hating himself. Following this garbage, the camera was on Charlie Caruso, who shook her head and asked if we could believe what we just saw. But her face was asking what she had ever done to find herself at this point in her life. Unfortunately for R-Truth, he's not that talented of a wrestler to ever make up for this part of his career. No amount of meaningless jump splits can perfume the stench of this angle. Because while we were laughing at Steamboat nearly 3.5 decades ago for the silliness of his martial arts training vignette, he did plenty after that to make us take him seriously. No one takes R-Truth seriously. No one is laughing at any of his performances. I'm willing to bet a lot of us are disgusted and offended. In today's English Tip of the Week, we'll look at irregular plural nouns. Most nouns become plural by adding an S to the end of the word. Boy pluralizes to boys. Girl pluralizes to girls. But what about those nouns that do not pluralize that way? Earlier I said that the dragon got hit in the mouth by one of the ninjas. With the top of the ninja's foot catching Steamboat, he likely didn't get hit in just one tooth. But how do we pluralize Steamboat's choppers? Did Steamboat get hit in the tooths, the teeth, or the teeths? The answer is B, teeth. In most cases, singular nouns that have a double O pluralize with a double E, just like the ninja used one foot to kick Steamboat, not both feet. Nouns ending in O typically pluralize with ES at the end. When Greg the Hammer Valentine fondly remembers his dog collar match against Rowdy Roddy Piper, he talks about all of the potatoes they landed on each other. Potato is spelled P-O-T-A-T-O. But how does that pluralize? P-O-T-A-T-O-S, P-O-T-A-T-O-E-S, or P-O-T-A-T-O-E-Z? The answer again is B, P-O-T-A-T-O-E-S, potatoes. And our final example, let's take a look at singular nouns that end in U-M and see how they become plural. Words ending in U-M drop the U-M and replace it with an A. For example, the singular of data is datum. The singular of bacteria is bacterium. When Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan were face-to-face for their contract signing, President Jack Tunney had all the necessary paperwork at hand. One piece of the paperwork could be a memorandum. But if he had more than one piece, would that be A, memorandums, B, memorandi, or C, memoranda? Remember that UM words drop the UM and add an A. So the answer is C, memoranda. President Jack Tunney had the memoranda in hand for the contract signing between Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant for WrestleMania 3. And with that, class,
You're dismissed.
This is the heir apparent Chris LaRusso, and you're listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
All right, Paul, let's see if you know how to do this shtick that we haven't done in a while, and I just run through it randomly, half-assedly.
Pro Printing and Office, LLC, 814-834-3006. You can't call Dave All anymore. Dave All got a new job at SGL, but it's his mother's company.
So call Mom All.
Call Mom All. And she's not an All anymore, so that won't work.
What are you doing? I'm the one sponsor that you get in.
I am wrecking this whole place. Call him for all your printing needs.
Yeah, he did write a book for Paul.
Speaking of which, we got our wedding invites.
Your books?
Yeah, our wedding books printed there. And, we got them printed. So I walk in. I'm strutting.
Like
Jeff
hey, what's
Jarrett.
up?
You got some wedding invites for me? And she goes, no, I don't. I don't even have an order for that. I'm like, I thought Teresa told me. She's like, she probably went to the other one.
What?
Oh, I'm so mad. I was upset with Teresa.
Nice. Collar and elbow, hats, hoodies, tees. There's a lot of clearance stuff right now, folks. Their new fall attire, new designs are coming in. Go to collarandelbow.com, check them out, and when you check out to make your payment, type in OVW for 10% off. Al's keeping it fresh. He
freaking fresh.
Every so many months, he just changes. There's some staples, your collar and elbow shirts, or the Mean Gene one, or the Dusty Rhodes one. Those are kind of all legendary shirts, air quotes. But some of the other graphics are 80s or 90s gimmick graphics. They're really cool. They really are. And as I've been saying the last couple weeks, they're comfortable shirts. They're not
No, they're not cheaply made. They're nice.
They are nice freaking shirts. It could have a picture of Paul on it, and I'd still wear it because I like the shirt.
Hey, yeah, when are you going to talk to Al and get us a collar and elbow Can Crusher shirt?
Well, we there's a lot in the works now with OVW and Louisville and everything. I'm learning how to say it better.
Louisville. Facebook and Instagram at CanCrusher69.
The Gmail is cancrusher69@gmail.com.
We got a website out there. It's https://cancrusher69.wixsite.com/cancrushers.
You say that so much faster to me. Alexa, Boxcast, Overcast, Buzzsprout, TuneIn Radio, Google, iTunes, Bullhorn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and Spotify.
Don't forget about WrestlePost app, Mark.
And what can you do on WrestlePost app that you still have not downloaded?
You can find wrestling stuff.
From where?
Like indie wrestling shows around your area or wherever you're at.
What if you're in Idaho?
You're probably hanging out with Seth freaking Rollins' parents.
You are, and you could go see an event with them.
Yeah.
It's there. There's other podcasts to listen to. We were one of the first 5, though. I will continue to say that because they reached out to us and said, hey, jackasses.
We love how stupid you are. You want to be on our WrestlePost app? And we're like, sure, how much? Sure, how much? And they're like, no, we're going to do it.
We're going to publicize you. We're going to promote you. What?
So guess what? We're going to promote you, WrestlePost app.
Right, WrestlePost app.
WrestlePost app.
Where is it? Where can you find it?
In your wherever if you have an iPhone, it'd be the iPlay Store.
No, it's called iTunes.
iTunes. If you have an Android, it's the Play Store. Mm-hmm. And then you just type in WrestlePost app.
I think you would just type in WrestlePost.
Well, maybe not. Maybe
the app is what it's called.
It is an app.
It is an app. Hey, we will be at IWC this weekend. It is Cage Fury.
Mark will be at IWC this weekend.
The English Professor and IRS will also be joining me.
Yeah. Paul won't be there.
Paul won't be there. But Sean Spears is going to be there taking on the Man Dime. There's a lot of great matches. And Jake Plummer.
Justin Plummer?
Oh, yeah. Justin Plummer is going to make a mega announcement. And
monumental.
if he burns me with this one again, like he said he had a huge star coming, Kevin Nash.
I'm coming down and punching him right in a wiener.
Right. You hear that, Plummer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're lucky. I'm Mark's muscle.
You're lucky we love Jenny.
I don't even know his wife or the kids.
Oh, they're great people.
Well, I'm sure they are.
They really are.
No, he's just threatening to punch a dad in the wiener. What is wrong with you?
Maybe he's done having kids.
August 16th, Stomp Out Cancer. We will be there. Also, get on Facebook and under Can Crushers. Find our little promo ad. Like it, share it, comment.
Tag somebody.
2 people, 1 person.
One. Just tag somebody, not us.
Don't tag one of us because we're not going to win it. And we're not going to promote it for you. Tag somebody who doesn't know anything about wrestling. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's even better.
So that next week,
approximately 1:30. We're going to start the podcast. We're going to get our shit in gear, which means we won't be anywhere close to...
So at like 1:40, we'll be on Facebook Live.
Right. Pulling the name out, saying, congratulations to blank.
So, listen, if you like, share, and comment on this,
you get...
Because you have to do all of those. You have to like, share, comment the tag.
Right. It's promoted.
Clear your schedule for Friday night, because if you win these tickets and you don't go to this show...
We're going to punch you in the dick.
Yeah.
You said wiener. See, you're so much better than me.
Well,
you
I don't
really
like
are.
that. I've said a couple swear words today, and
Yeah, but we still haven't done the bad one.
We haven't hit the quota.
It is at the Stronghold Arena in Lamont Furnace, Pennsylvania. It's about an hour away from Pittsburgh. It's right there. If you're there, you can get autographs from the English professor, from Paul, and from me. We'll be there. These three Can Crushers are there.
And I don't know what you're going to do with an autograph from us, but cool. I mean, we'll have some stickers to give out.
Yeah, we will. There's another order of stickers coming soon.
I still got some left, I think, somewhere.
Nice.
In my Trapper Keeper.
That same night, which is next week, the Rated X Can Crusher will be in Joppa, Maryland, covering ROH and MCW show, which is, I forgot to mention that. We'll go back to it. Which is called Future of Honor. So we'll get a recap of that. And MCW, if you're in Maryland, is really... Oh, and the Briscoes will be there too. Thank you for reading my notes, Paul.
What are you doing today?
I'm drunk.
You off a half a beer?
No, I'm reading upside down sideways.
Well, you can turn this like this. I can still read sideways. It's not upside down for me.
I can't read is what it is, Paul.
So, coming back to the Stomp Out Cancer thing.
There's a Bullet Club member there.
Yeah, thank you. That's all you want. I wanted to get that in there because it's...
Right.
If it's bulleted...
It is bulleted.
If it's written down, you have to say it.
Right. There is a Bullet Club member going to be there, as well as some old school. They just announced Dominic DeNucci is going to be there. That's one that is going to blow many people's minds, but he's trained so many around our area in Pennsylvania. And Lord Zoltan, if you remember him from... Wow, he's happy about that. He's been so many indie wrestlings. He was actually in Johnsonburg, Pennsylvania one time as well. When Johnsonburg had a wrestling show in 94.
Was that the time the guy...
Yeah, the ring ropes broke and a guy passed away testing the ring ropes because they broke. It was...
Mark was there for that.
So was the English professor in Rated X.
Did you know that the English professor was at WrestleMania 1?
What?
Yeah.
No way!
I don't know if you know this or not.
No!
But August 24th, Imagine Pro Wrestling's in Altoona, PA.
And Sam Adonis is going to be there. That's Corey Graves' brother. But we'll be someplace else on August 24th.
We'll be in Clearfield.
For Asylum Pro Wrestling and Co-Red Wrestling.
Code Red?
Yeah, that's what I said. Code Red.
It sounded like you said Co-Red.
Code Red.
Correct.
Code Red. Fleck is going to punch me in the face now for making fun of him.
Enunciate.
Asylum Pro Wrestling, along with Code Red Wrestling, will be in Clearfield, Pennsylvania on August 24th for a benefit.
Skin Deep.
For Crazy Shay.
For Crazy Shay.
We are going to have 2 baskets there that you can buy 50-50. You can win a basket. There's going to be a bake sale that Marvelous Matt Bish has set up to buy stuff, money from concessions, anything you do.
50-50s?
Yep, anything you do that night is going to go to Crazy Shay and Laura to help them out from the burn and hitting a bear. By the way, he didn't find the bear. He was pissed off.
I didn't even know he hit a bear.
He did, and Laura did.
Oh. Mark's selling his autograph for $5, and everything Mark makes is going to Crazy Shay.
Right. I agree.
King Can Crusher, Facebook, or signature. Never mind.
Nothing. We'll be there as well. Guys, we thought about giving you away tickets for this one as well, as we always do with Asylum. Now, Code Red as well. But, no.
Code red.
We are making you buy your tickets.
To this one, it's
a benefit. Don't be
Yeah.
a jackass.
I mean, I know we're giving away cancer benefit tickets, but that's different.
Right.
It's a different kind of benefit. This is more important.
What? What?
Yeah.
This
is one individual person.
Right. It is. It is. It really is. He's our homeboy. Hopefully, we get a spot with him next week as some matches are coming out. So at least he can give us a lowdown on a couple matches. Let's see what he wrestled. So he's cleared to wrestle. Crazy Shay is back in the ring 3 weeks after having his face burned off.
Schmelted.
He's
a horrible smelting incident.
He's back in the ring.
Does he have a gold mask?
No, it's black and green.
Oh, I was hoping it was gold.
Why? So he can be a conquistador?
No, because he loves gold.
I don't get the reference.
The gold member. Austin Powers gold member.
I hated those.
I ruined it with a horrible smelting incident.
I hated those.
Gold.
Nothing.
Wow.
Austin Powers. Blech.
You gotta go.
Iran, number one.
Guess what?
Russia, number one. Gold member. Hawk point. Do I have a garbage tip, guys? I don't.
Play your song.
Garbage, 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 garbage.
Is the song over?
Yeah,
I
it's
love
over.
The song.
I know you love that song.
And I miss the song.
Well,
and the people miss the song.
They do. Do you have a trash garbage tip?
A trash tip?
A trashy garbage tip.
A trash tip. Can we start calling it the trash tip?
Trashy tips.
Here
we could go a long way with those.
Here I come with just a tip of the trash.
Go.
So Garbage Tip of the Week comes to you, brought to you by People Are Idiots, as always. 2 weeks ago, I grabbed a hold of 2 bags. One of them, and when I swung it into the thing, it jabbed into my leg.
Oh yeah, he's showing you this motion, by the way.
I got 4 stitches because of something sharp in the garbage bag.
Snitches get stitches, bitch.
And I don't snitch.
All right, but you are a bitch.
But I am a bitch. So if you have sharps, like even
Sharpie markers,
Sharpie markers,
Sharpie
knives, scissors, anything sharp that can stab your garbage men.
Don't run with them.
Don't run with them. But everybody has like dish detergent boxes and stuff or dish detergent containers. If you put the sharp in that, it very rarely pokes through.
Right.
So put it in that and make it safer for your garbage men.
This is a good point because I got poked by something today.
Yeah.
It's not like you had.
It was probably your dad.
Blood now.
Poking you.
All right. Well, what do you got to say about now, Paul?
Remember, Mark, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.
A ton of wrestling this weekend, and folks, don't forget, Friday, Can Crusher.
Friday!
Can Crusher Spotlight.